set number 4, You Are Dead, going to be starting down south.
Of course, your opponents, Yo Flash Wolves to the north, and yeah, well, positions reversed. UAD last time we played on White Park against Front Mission, like pretty much they started up north, so it's going to be pretty interesting how they react to that. Now, yeah, I'm not really that surprised by both teams when it comes to their tank lineup.
Very similar, whereas slightly different as well. I mean, both teams going, you know, with a pair of 5100s, and then both teams going with a T32. But then on the Yo Flash Wolves side, or no, excuse me, on the You Are Dead side, they did go with 2 IS3s.
Yeah, it's just well, a bit more diversity when it comes to Yo Flash Wolves with moving Castle on the T69. But once again, it all depends on how you use it. And right now, it really does look like, well, you know, UAD's concentrating their forces to the east. They have been spotted.
Yeah, at least 2 of those tanks were spotted, actually. So
it's a much more spread out formation coming from Yo Flash Wolves.
If I were Yo Flash Wolves, I would push down at least a little bit towards west, just to take control of that city area. Because the thing is, if southern teams want to push up east on the eastern side, once they cross the railway, they have very, very little cover. Whereas if you push on the western side, on either side, once you push, you actually can make it undercover.
Well, once again, it's crossing that railroad that is just crucial. You've got to have the right timing. But right now, the way in which Yo Flash Wolves have been, okay, it's a restart.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so
it is a restart.
We do have to restart because one player was disconnected. I also do believe there are slight kind of connection and server kind of lag issues on
that is true. Like, yeah, we were checking out the chat as well, and apparently it's just, especially on the Hong Kong side, the server seems to be down as well, which is creating a bit of lag.
Just a little bit.
Well,
laggy.
Yeah, a little bit laggy. So yeah, it's just a bit of technical problem here. But you know, initially, when we did take a look at the Yo Flash Wolves, especially spread. I think he was giving them a whole lot more options than their opponents. I mean, so far. Of course, we have to replay this.
Yeah, most definitely. So I think that You Are Dead might go for something differently as well, because they were, in fact, spotted in that kind of eastern kind of movement. So honestly, had that set just continued on, if Yo Flash Wolves kind of realized the You Are Dead positioning, they have the entire western part of the map open.
That is true.
And then once they crossed the area, they could have made it into the southern part of the city, and then it would have been a fair fight.
It would have been a fair fight, but then again, once again, just because you cross successfully down south is not a guarantee of a win either, because capturing the southern base is very difficult as well. That industrial area does provide cover, but then again, there are loopholes everywhere. It's not really urban per se, you know. That's why even like from the north, it is still possible to defend that position. So once again, I think UAD sort of going for a bait originally.
Maybe
here.
I mean, but
because they knew they were spotted. They knew they were spotted, and they still kept to the eastern side. So it's almost an open invitation. Okay,
quite
you guys
possibly.
cross and take the fight.
That's how they defeated Bottabag last year, or not
Front Mission.
Front Mission. Yeah, excuse me as well.
Although they were up north.
Yeah, it's just when they push down, then they're just ready for them.
Indeed. But you know, considering how UAD has been playing throughout this week, pretty much, it's a lot of it is controlled aggression in the sense that they give you the illusion that they're leaving a side open, but that's just a trap.
Actually, they could be baiting me as well. I mean,
who knows?
I'm the one who predicted.
That's why I'm actually voicing my doubts here, because every single time you think you've got an opening against UAD, actually they're doing that on purpose.
Actually, I think you're right. It's because lately we've been seeing a lot of You Are Dead play being very tricky, and very kind of evasive. They'll kind of push up one side or send out like a T1 just to kind of make the enemy expect that a push is coming from that way. Completely pull out, maybe even switch sides, or maybe just even go for that same side once again.
And they're just waiting for mistakes, pretty much, of nerves. And you remember, like when we played on White Park against, when they played on White Park against Front Mission in our first semifinal. Front Mission kept moving around because they didn't know what to do. They're like, shall we defend? Shall we try to attack? Like, what are these guys doing?
They had no vision on the You Are Dead members, so they couldn't even retaliate any damage.
Indeed. Which is why it's very important. Once again, I know T1s don't seem like they matter that much, but against a team like UAD, it is essential to keep them alive, so that whatever corner of the map you you're not really just investing your heavy forces on. You still have to have eyes on target because you never know what UAD is going to come up with next, pretty much. They're so very unpredictable this week, and they've got the technique and the individual skills to back this up, no matter what they do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's no easy way out, pretty much.
Honestly, I mean, both these teams are so good, is that to win against either team, like, so basically for either team to win, they really have to come up with something new. And they just, and they can't win with traditional strategies where they
you can't count on the mistakes. You cannot. That's something you can't.
First of all, you can't really react. I mean, you can react, but you have to react in a way where you're also
putting pressure.
Exactly, like throwing a play back at the initial team. So
if you're just like defending, ultimately they will outplay you pretty much. And you know what? On Prokhorovka, that's exactly what was happening until YoFlashman were like, okay, YoFlash Wolf, sorry. We have to move out. If we stay put, ultimately they're going to drain us of our energy, pretty much, of our hit points, which is what was happening. And ultimately, when there's like 1 or 2 minutes left, they're probably going to win with the narrowest margin of terror points. So that was the really smart thing to do coming from YoFlash Wolves. They had no other option but just to go out there and take the fight to their opponents. You cannot let teams like UAD or teams like PP Super Friends, Women Insidious just get comfortable and dictate play. You cannot do that. That's just not an option.
Yeah, I mean, in the open season, we were kind of hesitant about aggressive play. We always kind of said back then that, even though you're aggressive, the defending team almost always has the advantage.
Right.
But as these teams progress further and further along into this championship
and kept
league,
playing against one another over and over again.
And since they're all improving together, we're finding more and more now that just being at least not too aggressive, but having that controlled aggression where you kind of move in with a plan and you have a certain strategy that you're trying to accomplish.
But even like YoFlash Trolls, even if you're a defensive team by nature, you still have to, when you counter the attack that's coming up to you, you still have to put something on the table.
Exactly. So we'll have to see what happens as we go back to Wide Park for replay of set number 4. All right, we're back on Wide Park. I believe everything is the same. Same starting position, same tank, same everything right now. The only thing different is that the timer is reset. Do you have any kind of predictions to what's going to happen?
It's way too close. I'm just really curious.
Do you think URDED are going to go back?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm wondering about. Are they going to go with the same strategy towards the east, or are they not? I think it'd be wiser for them to spread out like YoFlash Wolves did, except on the southern side. Like, they should try to go for a mobile sort of like stalemate situation alongside the railroad.
Yeah, they're actually moving over to the west.
To the west this time around. I was really thinking that, UAD never really leaves anything to chance. If they're really just going all their forces to one front, it more likely than not, it's a bait.
Yeah. Well, not always.
Not always.
The thing is, it really just depends on how the enemy reacts.
As well. And if they don't react the way that they want them to react, they reposition.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't just camp and wait for your for you to actually fall into a potential trap. They're always like their adaptability is spot on.
Oh, non-TW being spotted there.
Yep, he has been spotted. That was got Care 1 on his T1.
Yep.
There.
Ooh, so these members of URDED actually moving up here towards the railway area. I don't think they're actually going to go for the engagement because they would have to cross the railway or get into a position where they would be compromised. But, Blackhawk already taking a little bit of damage here.
No, they're actually going for it. No, this is way too rash. Once again, he's suffering too much damage towards the underpass. That was just a little too risky.
They have to be careful here because oh my god, so many members of the YoFlash Wolf side are just completely surrounding here.
Yeah, exactly. They're just camped up towards the...
man, look at Onion Head and Blackhawk.
This is slaughter.
Yeah, Onion Head are going to go down soon here too.
This is slaughter. Like, I cannot comprehend why UAD went for something that rash though.
Yeah, not much damage even being thrown down.
And this is a bottleneck. Once again, that underpass is just like a death trap, really. And once you've been spotted, why would you do that? Like, once again, we've seen a huge mistake coming from YoFlash Wolves in that second set on Ensk, and I gotta say that UAD is just really doing them a favor right now.
Yeah, most definitely. So I gotta say though, that URDED, they should have just gone back to the eastern side because
as soon as they were spotted, or at least try to create a move up front, like towards the railroad, because right now they just gave this away.
Yeah, and YoFlash were just waiting for them to cross that railway. The second URDED did, they just got completely punished from that. I mean, we saw both Onion Head and Blackhawk just taking down to less than half health, even before they crossed and got to the other side.
Yeah, indeed. So this is pretty much game over, and rather lamely, I gotta say, very reminiscent of what Yo Flash Wolves did on Answer for set number 2. So we're gonna have to go the distance for this first final of well, this Masters League in our second season.
Yeah, and what a final though. I mean, this is really close here, and it could not be decided in any better fashion. Just to go to the 5th and final set here, these teams are just gonna be tested.
Yeah, indeed. And if I remember correct, we're going to Mines.